Pre-modern cities in Japan did not have a core as a central space for organization and assemblies. Instead, its organization consisted out of a cluster of small neighborhoods with an inaccessible center.
In Edo, today's Tokyo, the core was reserved for the palace of the shogun. Around it, there were different makis, organized, a term used for multifunctional neighborhoods and small towns, each with their own center, adding up to a deconcentrated urban structure. Each individual made local interventions, causing urban population density and neighborhood multifunctionality.
Japanese architect and winner of the 1987 Pritzker Prize for Architecture was one of the most significant architects in the 20th century, combining traditional Japanese styles with modernism.
Some of his projects before the 1970s reflect his long-standing interest in remaining Japanese urbanism in actual terms, thereby merging processional space with social spectacle, while he shifted his focus from architecture as a structure, material, and design to architecture as the site of events and social interaction.
Fixed on target. Release bomb.
Roger. Releasing bomb.
Dedicated to the legacy of both Hiroshima as the first city in the world which was the victim of the nuclear attack and its population at the time, the Hiroshima Memorial Park is a sensitive urban project that addresses the memory and hope of the tragic events occurred during the Second World War.
It was part of a larger urban project which included multiple centers aimed to reconstruct the city. It consists of two main buildings, the museum and the A-bomb dome. The project itself is largely known for its concept of east-west and north-south axis, starting point at the A-bomb dome and stretching towards the Peace Boulevard. One of the main structures in the park is the Peace Hall. The overall focus is a connection between the park, the city, and its architecture.
The proposal for the Hiroshima project by Tange strictly followed international modernist style. The unornamented raw concrete structure of Hiroshima project reflected the influence of brutalism, a post-war style that was favored both in Japan and Europe for its economic efficiency and honest expressions of materials. More specifically, the Hiroshima project adopted a flat roof, pilotis, and louvers, all of which were signature Corbusian elements.
Years later, since the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the threat of nuclear weapons still remains. The legacy of Hiroshima can be a good influence on reconstruction of the cities in the case of natural disasters in the future. Hiroshima was rebuilt after the war with help from the national government through the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Reconstruction Law. First reconstruction is an act that generates something new and simultaneously revitalizes what had been handed on from the past and nearly lost. Hiroshima's reconstruction did not create everything anew. It brought back social functions, culture, and traditions that had existed in the Hiroshima communities before the bombing. The second point is the significance of the stances that those who have directly experienced tragedy take, as they tend to be the ones who most strongly long for the peace. The presence of A-bomb survivors, their thoughts and attitudes were essential to the construction of a city, of a peace in the reconstruction period. The third point, achieving reconstruction, requires the active awareness of every citizen. Important roles were played by War Damage Reconstruction Agency, leaders, and systems such as Hiroshima Peace Memorial City Construction Law. However, what ultimately achieved and anchored the reconstruction was the repeated, everyday efforts of individual citizens who possessed and acted with a keen awareness that they were citizens of the city of Hiroshima, a city of peace.